evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 1991 Fort Wayne National Bank Pepsi Invitational. This is match 2 this evening, featuring the Buckeyes of Ohio State versus our own hometown IPFW Mastodons. This is Lauren Giebert alongside with Colin Leiter, bringing you tonight's action. Welcome, Colin.
Thanks, Lauren. We had a great match in the first one, seeing number 1 ranked USC proving why they are deserving of the number 1 ranking, as they defeated Penn State 3-0 by scores of 15-6, 15-12, and 15-8.
You saw a very steady USC play some very good control ball, beating up pretty much Penn State, who showed some signs of their 8th ranked in the country. Let's listen to Mark Banger as he announces our IPFW Mastodons.
And now the non-starters for your IPFW Volleyball.
Tonight, let's look at what happened last weekend at the A6 qualifier with these two teams. IPFW losing to Ball State in 5, and Ohio State, as they won the consolation match, beating the University of Milwaukee. IPFW disappointed in their loss, but trained hard all week, very hard, looking to take revenge on the Buckeyes of Ohio State.
That's right. I think after last Saturday's match, the Dons weren't the only ones that were disappointed. There was a great crowd here, and they wanted to see the Dons win, and they were really up after the Dons took a 2-0 lead over Ball State, and they were a little disappointed when they weren't able to pull out another win in those last 3 games.
Ball State held tough. IPFW just kind of slid back and let them come back into it, losing in Game 5, 15-11 with our rally scoring in men's volleyball, where you score off of any serve. Either team can score off the serve. The Buckeyes still confident because their last match was a win over the University of Milwaukee. So they're looking at their last match being winners, you know. And the confidence is there. They feel that they can take on the IPFW Mastodons and strive for that top ranking in the Midwest, along with Ball State.
Yeah, they've fallen off in recent years, and Coach Pete Hansen wants this to be one of those years where they get back and contend for that top spot in the MIVA. He's hoping to prove it by getting an early preseason victory here at the Pepsi Invitational. Now if you'll join us for a moment of silence for our troops in the Mideast.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does Star-Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, we're ready for action. In our second match this evening, IPFW Mastodons take on the Buckeyes of Ohio State. We're looking to see possibly a different lineup from last weekend from the Mastodons. Being able to practice with the team all week, I've seen some lineup changes during the week, moving personnel to different positions. I'm anxious to see what Coach Ball has in mind and in store for IPFW.
That's right. I know after last weekend's matches, some of the players weren't happy with the positions they're playing, and Coach Ball was definitely not happy with the performance that he saw out on the court in those last 3 games. So let's see what he's done to shake things up in tonight's match.
You see Pete Hansen and his assistant, Ling Yao, as they're ready to start their second straight weekend here in Fort Wayne against the Mastodons. This will be their first meeting in 1991. Last weekend they didn't get a chance to play against each other. I'm sure both of them are anxious to start this match. It looks like the Buckeyes of Ohio State had won the toss. They chose to serve. Number 13, David Freddy, will start the serve for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Along with him is number 6, Chuck Voss. Number 14, Elliot Weiner. Number 11, Craig Gable. Number 7, Rob Burton. And number 12, Mike Terpstra. The pass by Fred Malcolm. Tony Looning sets to Fred Malcolm out of the back row. There's one of the changes you'll see right there, Colin. In certain rotations, IPFW will run a 6-2 with Tony Looning setting, and Loy Ball will get a chance to hit. Loy Ball did all the setting last weekend on the 5-1 offense.
Oh. Craig Geibel off the block and out of bounds, side out to Ohio State.
Number 6, Chuck Voss, a 6'3" sophomore out of Lapeer, Michigan, serving for Ohio State. Malcolm, and out to Raul Papaleo for the kill.
Hit deep into the court. Great shot for a kill.
You'll see number 9, Raul Papaleo, and 15, Fred Malcolm, doing a lot of the passing for IPFW. Overpass, and Loy Ball puts that one straight down.
They called him in the net. Got a little too hungry on that, and his follow through got him down on the net.
I got just as excited as Loy did on that one. 11, Craig Gable serving for Ohio State. This one goes to the backcourt. Almaldivar, Norman Almaldivar hits that one long. Puts the Buckeyes on the scoreboard first. They lead 1-0 over IPFW. Gable still serving for the Buckeyes. Malcolm out of the back row puts that one away.
Back to serve, 6'9" freshman from Woodburn, Indiana, Loy Ball.
Loy Ball trained alongside Brian Ivey this summer in San Diego with the men's national team. That one's long.
Rob Burton launches one into orbit for the Buckeyes. Point for the Volleyball.
That ties it up, 1-1 apiece in game 1. That's a service error by Loy Ball.
Joining Loy Ball in the Mastodon lineup is number 3, Norman Almaldivar, number 5, Neil Day, number 9, Raul Papaleo, number 14, Tony Looning, and number 15, Fred Malcolm.
As Ohio State, Neil Day all over that. There you see another lineup change. Neil Day into the lineup. Didn't see a lot of playing time last weekend. He replaces Tom Junkie.
And as you call out Neil Day's name, he gets in the net. Side out for the Buckeyes.
Neil, a transfer from East Stroudsburg. Very physically strong player.
The overset off the top of the block.
I believe
Rob Burton touching
that one. Raul Papaleo serving for IPFW. Gable passes it, goes out to Terpstra. That one is hit wide. And that gives a point to IPFW, tying it up at 2 apiece. Papaleo still to serve, a 6'2" sophomore out of Cages, Puerto Rico. Back to Burton with Almaldivar with a great dig. Tony Lunig coming out of nowhere. Throws that one down.
Caught the Buckeyes flat-footed that time. They thought Lloyd Ball, the back row setter, was going to be setting. Tony came from the front row.
And Almaldivar gets 6-pack by David Freddy.
We're going to see a lot from Freddie. He was their big gun last week, and I'm sure he'll pick it up again this week.
Rob Burton serving for Ohio State. Serves that one long.
Seen some adjustments from last week by Coach Hansen. Ball State served Rob Burton off the court last week, and this week he's not passing at all.
That guy right there, Mike Terpstra, is doing a lot of the passing as he puts that one away with the assist by Chuck Voss. Terpstra will go back to serve for Ohio State. Terpstra, just a sophomore out of Lima, New York. Burton passes that one up. It goes out to Gable. Off the block, and Neil Day's there. Lloyd Ball sets back court to Fred Malcolm, who puts that one in the net. That's a point for Ohio State. The score is 3-3. Terpstra still serving for the Buckeyes. Back set to Tony Lung, and he can set, he can hit.
Nice choice on that combination play by Lloyd Ball, the setter.
Gable with a nice pass. Backcourt to Mike Terpstra. Puts that one away. Not a whole lot of defense to start the second match this evening. It's early. I think they'll pick up as time goes.
We need a couple good plays here by the IPFW defense to get this crowd into it.
It's an overpass, and Fred Malcolm is called in the net. That will give a point to Ohio State.
Crowd's a little anxious here. IPFW has got to get something going.
Fred Malcolm having a tough time passing, excuse me. Tony Lugan with a nice shoestring play. And Malcolm rolling it over the top. That one goes back court to Freddie, and he hits that one wide. Excellent hustle by senior co-captain Tony Luning out of Belleville, Illinois.
You could see how that play right there. Not a tough dig, but he went after it and made a great play, and it's getting the crowd into it.
I believe this lineup change is going to help Tony Luning feel like a bigger part of the team. He gets the set and hit.
David Freddie, last one into the net from the back row for a point to the Volleyball.
Fred Malcolm, senior captain out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Elliot Weiner, excuse me, puts that one in the deep right box for a kill. The assist by Chuck Voss, who serves for the Buckeyes. The score is tied in game one, 4-4. It goes back court to Tony Luning, and there's a touch off the block. Tony Luning out to a quick start. Norman Almaldivar from Puerto Rico serving for IPFW. It's a tight pass. That's a free ball to the Dons. Luning handles up to Loy. And we have a not necessarily miscommunication, but he just missed his middle.
Timing just a little bit off.
Loy went up like he was going to hit the ball and then tried to set the 31. That's a tough play to make. David Freddie out of the back court, hits that one into the net.
David Freddie really struggling from the back row right now, helping out the Volleyball.
Right now, we're not seeing a lot of ball control. We're seeing a lot of mistakes. The team that stops making those right now is going to be the team that jumps out ahead here. Nice scramble play by Norman, and Tony Luning hits that one long. Elliot Weiner back to serve for Ohio State, another one of their young players.
Both teams looking a little tentative right now. They need to loosen up, play a little harder. Papaleo with the seeing eyeball. Just a little roll shot down the line. Put it right in the corner.
Great shot, very controlled shot by Raul. Now it's off the biceps of Gable. Burton just rolls one back to Almodovar. Then Loy assists Neil Day for the kill.
Setting that one ball off the transition. Caught the Buckeyes before they can get to their defensive positions.
That puts IPFW ahead in game 1, 5-4 over Ohio State. And David Freddy puts that one down as Neil Day gets a little lost on who he's blocking.
Had a back row setter and the blockers jumped with him. Middle attacker was left all alone.
Burton serving that long for the Ohio State. Neil Day, a 6'4" junior out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, serving for IPFW. And nice short serve by Neil Day. Mooning in Almodovar with the block. It goes back to Terpstra, who hits that one long. Gives IPFW 0.6.
They lead game 1, 6-4. Neil Day still serving.
Mike Terpstra pass to Chuck Voss. Neil Day staying back. It's out to Fred Malcolm, who hits high off the block. David Freddy, Papaleo with a nice dig. Lloyd Ball jump setting it outside to Malcolm, who rips one off of David Freddy's hand. That's going to be a point for IPFW.
Good defensive plays back there by Papaleo and Day. Getting this crowd into it a little bit.
Here we see the replay. Lloyd Ball just thrusting that one out there, and Malcolm tooling the block. Just as we saw in the first match, USC and Penn State, a lot of high shots off the hands.
David Freddy comes back and puts one down to give a side out to the Buckeyes.
Outside to Fred Malcolm, who rolls one into nowhere's land. Setting up camp is Fred Malcolm. Side out goes to the IPFW, and Looning to serve.
It's another one of the changes by Coach Ball. He moved Fred Malcolm from the middle to the outside where he played last year, and he's starting to produce.
Fred also trained on the outside position with the national team in San Diego this past summer. Norman Almodovar.
All over that ball and all over the net as well.
Very aggressive block, but he's in the net.
David Freddy to serve for the Buckeyes.
They're continuing to go after Fred Malcolm. Looning with the high roll shot out of bounds. Buckeyes score a point off that. And David Freddy continues to serve for Ohio State. He goes after Fred Malcolm. Tony Looning sets it out to Loy Ball and puts that one away.
Loy Ball playing the position of a hitter in that rotation.
It's nice for a setter sometimes to be able to get outside and swing away. They get tired of the same old set, and not get the swing. Nice play. Loy Ball, he sets Fred Malcolm out of the back court. And Fred comes alive on that shot there. That
Elliot
puts
Weiner
IPFW
gave the
ahead, 8-5. Here we see the replay. He gave him a free ball. Papaleo up to Loy. And Fred just coming out of nowhere. Ohio State wants to call timeout after that play.
So far, it looks like Coach Ball's changes are working pretty well as the IPFW Volleyball lead 8-5 in game number 1 here. Players seem to be more comfortable in these positions. Loy Ball getting a chance to hit outside as Tony Looting is setting in that one rotation.
As we see some changes with Ohio State also, with Rob Burton being out of the passing formation, seems to be helping Ohio State just a little bit. Sometimes you're in there passing and you want to pass, but you got some better passers in front of you, and it's tough for a coach to say, hey, look, you go back in the corner and let these two guys pass. Malcolm serving for the Dons, and David Freddy out of the back court. Tony Looning with another great play. Backcourt to Malcolm. And there's a touch off the block by Gable.
Great dig by Tony Luning that time. Just reactions going after that ball.
He's really igniting the defense of IPFW. It's out to Gable. It's a missed set. Raul with a nice, and then Malcolm out of the backcourt. Nice dig by Rob Burton. Terpstra having a tough time handling it. Fred Malcolm starting to turn it on offensively. I think he's a little upset with his passing, so he's going at Ohio State.
Lloyd Ball's really going to Fred in these last few plays.
And then Elliot Weiner puts that one down. Voss serving for Ohio State, who trail the Dons 5-10.
Serve is way long. Side out to the Volley Dons.
Looks like Voss was going after Fred Malcolm. Serve that one long. Mike Steiner, a graduate of Wayne High School, comes in to play defense for Norman Almodovar.
One of the few Fort Wayne products here on the Volley Don squad.
Everybody else being outside of the Fort Wayne area or even Indiana.
Big block by Neil Day. Last year at East Stroudsburg College, Neil Day ranked in the top 10 in blocking. Showed why right there.
He's got a lot to prove to the Penn State team who sits and watch these two teams play each other.
Rob Burton with the kill for the outside for the Buckeyes.
Greg Gable back to serve. A 6'2" sophomore out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Sporting the Steve Timmons flat top look. Fred Malcolm with the roll shot. It's picked up by the Buckeyes. Out to Terpstra, and he puts that one away.
Hitting over or through the triple block on that one. Terpstra showing why he's in the lineup this time.
Last weekend, Mike Terpstra did a very nice job here. We see him hitting into that corner with no defense there. Neil Day blasts that one away with the assist by Lloyd Ball.
Neil Day contributing greatly here after being inserted into the lineup for this week's match.
Ball serving for IPFW, a 6'9" freshman. We'll have a substitution for Ohio State. Number 1, Todd Brooks is coming in for Elliot Weiner. Buckeyes, if they get in a little trouble here, they can have Todd Brooks set.
Todd, who set for them last year, going for the defensive specialist position this year. Papaleo
with the kill. Ball touches the ground before he goes underneath the net, so that's good. Papaleo serving for IPFW, who lead game 1 11-6 over Ohio State. Out to Terpstra, and he puts that one away. The sophomore for the Buckeyes. Again, as I mentioned last weekend, anxious to see Mike Terpstra mature and become a better player for the Buckeyes.
Number 4, Kevin Riley in to serve for the Buckeyes, giving Rob Burton a rest.
Fred Malcolm starting to pass a little bit better for the Dons.
David Freddy with the stuffed block. Set was a little bit low. Neil Day couldn't do much with it.
Outside to Fred Malcolm, who tools Chuck Voss. Smart shot by Malcolm. Again, going over the shorter blocker. David Freddy in the middle and needs to hit line.
Norman Almodovar back into the Volley Don lineup, along with Paul Springob, who's in to serve.
Coach Ball mentioned all week that he'd like to get some younger players in there, give them some playing time, and also give the older guys some resting time. Keep them fresh in case it does go 5 games like it did last weekend against Ball State.
Good hustling, scrappy play by the Volley Dons, but the hit is just wide by Raul Papaleo.
Mike Terpstra serving for Ohio State. Outside to Malcolm. Puts that one high over the block. It's out to Gable. And Papaleo with the dig into the stands. Gable gets the kill with the assist by Chuck Voss. That's going to give a point to Ohio State.
Score 11-8 in favor of the Volleyball.
Terpstra serves that one long. Here we see the replay. Outside to Gable. Papaleo tries to dig it, but it's over into the stands.
Tony Looning back to serve for the Dons.
He serves that one wide. We're not seeing a lot of serving demonstrations going on. Good serving demonstrations, that is.
We saw that in the first match also. A lot of service errors, teams trying to go back there and really beat that ball hard.
They continue to go after Fred Malcolm. Lloyd forces that one to Norman Almaldivar.
Not a wise choice on that. Coach Ball not happy. He's going to take a timeout.
IPFW leads game 1, 11-9 over Ohio State. Right now, it looks like IPFW, they're winning, not playing very well. Fred Malcolm having a tough time passing. The control is not what Coach Ball, I'm sure, wants it to be right now.
That's right, and even with Lloyd Ball in their setting, with all of his experience, right now he's not making some wise choices as to who to set and when. It's starting to hurt. In that one series, they set Fred out of the back row 3 or 4 times in a row. Now they're trying to get a little too cute on their choice of sets.
David Freddy, he'll serve for the Ohio State Buckeye team. As they continue to go after Fred, but he serves that one long.
Might have to rename the Volley Dome the Launching Dome. The way they're launching these serves out the end of the court.
Definitely launching some serves out there. David Freddy out of the back row, and Lloyd Ball plays that one up to Norman, who kicks it out to Papaleo. Gable with a nice dig. It goes back out to him. Rolls it, and Malcolm's there. Out to Papaleo.
Off the block and out of bounds.
Raul, a sophomore. Very young team. Both teams out there right now, very young, but very, very strong players. Here we Elliot Weiner puts that one away.
Fred didn't quite get to defensive positions that time, and he wasn't ready for that. He's got to get there and get down.
Chuck Voss serving for Ohio State. Papaleo with a nice pass. Almaldivar with the one ball. Out to Gable. And he puts that one into the box. Paul Springott cannot get to it. That's going to give a point to Ohio State. That makes it 12-10 in favor of IPFW. Game 1, the best 3 out of 5 game match. Malcolm with a nice pass. It goes to Norman Almaldivar. And Elliot Weiner clamps down on that one.
Back row of IPFW forgot to cover on that play.
Coverage very important. There's no hitter in the country that you can rest assured they're going to put it away. You need to cover them and get a second chance.
Chuck Voss gives it back to the Volleyball. Trying to serve short, just a little too short.
Neil Day's back in the lineup for IPFW, giving them a little bit bigger block in the front row. Almaldivar serves that one. Elliot Weiner hits that one wide. That gets IPFW back on track as they score point number 13, and Ohio State wants a timeout.
That time Neil Day put up a good big block. Didn't touch the ball, but he took up enough area that the hitter tried to hit around him so sharp that he hit it out of bounds.
We'll be back right after this brief message.
Ooh, sounds like there's some mean grizzly bears in this forest.
Bears aren't mean, Kermit. They're just predators. Any animal that hunts and eats another animal is a predator. You know, frogs are predators, too.
Yeah, but predators are in trouble because of poaching and shrinking habitats.
That's right. If you'd like to learn more, write Predators, National Wildlife Federation, Washington, D.C., 20036.
Great! Now what's for supper?
We're back at the Mastodons and IPFW Volleyball. They're taking on Ohio State Buckeyes right now, and they lead 13-11. Fred Malcolm with a nice scramble out to Papaleo. And he tools that one off the block.
Two great defensive plays by Fred Malcolm that time. First hard shot dug back over the net. Then he goes and gets the dink, lays it up on target. They're able to get a set and a kill out of it.
Bringing a little noise out of the fans here. Almodovar serving for game point. Elliott, Wiener. Gable. And that one's hit long. That gives game one to IPFW. 15-11 over the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Crowds on their feet. They want IPFW to get things going for game two.
Crowd was really quiet there for a while. A couple great defensive plays by the Dons starting to bring them to life. That's what they need to get the crowd into this, and they could blow Ohio State out if they catch fire here.
We have a big supporting community in Fort Wayne of volleyball. They like to come out and support their local Volleyball.
They're a very knowledgeable group. They know what's going on. They don't get too excited until something spectacular starts happening, and then you'll hear a lot of noise out of them.
If you just joined us for this evening's match, our first match, the USC Trojans took on the Penn State Nittany Lions, defeating them in 3 games by the scores of 15-6, 15-12, and 15-8. That was a not as dominating match by the Trojans, as game one they came out very fired up, beating them very easily. Then Penn State decided they're going to turn on, making the games a little bit closer.
Sometimes you really wonder how good that USC team could be. They've got 2 starters on the bench not even playing this year. Mark Shepard, who was in the top 10 in hitting percentage last year, and probably the MVP of the 1988 NCAA Final Four here at Coliseum, Jen-Kai Liu, not even playing this year.
When two people feel the way that your mother and I do about each other, there's a strong desire to express that love. Are you listening?
Dad, is this a sex talk? Because if it is...
When two people feel the way that your mother and I do about each other, there's a strong desire to express that love. Are you listening?
Dad, is this a sex talk? Because if it is, I already know all about it.
Oh, you do?
Uh-huh.
How well do you know all about it?
Well enough.
Well enough. I know you and your friends, you know it all. Just humor me. You know about pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I feel about responsibility.
Yes.
How much do you know about AIDS? Looks like we have a couple of things to talk about, huh? Joshua, someone can have the AIDS virus for a long time and not even know it.
We're back and ready for action in game 2 as IPFW Mastodons take on Ohio State Buckeyes in match 2 of the 1991 Fort Wayne National Bank Pepsi Invitational. IPFW won game 1, 15-11 over Ohio State. Colin, we saw a fairly evenly matched game, a fairly evenly matched game in game 1 until the IPFW turned on a little defense with key plays by Fred Malcolm.
That's right. Coming back to start the match, though, Elliot Weiner with a little tip out of the middle for a kill. Chuck Voss back to serve for the Buckeyes. I think that first match, IPFW was not quite ready for their new lineup here, and they're still trying to get used to it.
Terpstra hits that one in the net, and we see a different lineup for IPFW. Tom Junke's replacing Neil Day into the middle. Last weekend, Tom Junke doing a very nice job offensively. Discussed a lot. Again, Coach Ball wants to give some of his players some rest. So if it does go 5 games, a lot of them are still fresh and ready to win in the game.
Rob Burton coming back for the Buckeyes on the strong side cross.
Malcolm passing well there, and Tom Junke hits that one out.
Tom hitting his first attempt long. Needs to get warmed up a little bit more.
Buckeyes. And Malcolm hits that one high, but Gable stays back, for a nice dig. This pass to Lloyd Ball, who assists Tony Looney. Gable playing some real nice defense in the backcourt for the Buckeyes.
Tom Junke with the block.
Nice pass to Lloyd Ball, back set to Looning. Almaldivar plays that one up, back set to Looning again. He puts that one in the deep right box. Tony Looning.
Caught the Ohio State blockers guessing that time. They were heading out for a strong side set. Roy sent it back to Tony again.
Tom Junke serving for the Dons. And Burton with the back one ball puts that down. Assist by Chuck Voss.
Fred Malcolm up just a little slow on that.
Papaleo with a nice pass. Oh, nice one-handed set outside by Lloyd Ball. Malcolm puts that away. Very nice set by Lloyd to get his hand on it and kick it high outside. Not an easy set, Colin.
No, it's not. You got to have big hands to do it. That was a great set. Here we see it again. Off the top of the block and down.
Nice camera work by Channel 6.
David Freddy coming back, beating one down the front of the Mastodon block. Side out to the Buckeyes.
Burton serve for the Buckeyes. And we saw Papaleo's nice pass. And the dump kill for Lloyd Ball. 6'9" really helps, and he works that left hand very well.
You got to get a blocker up on him every time he goes up. Here we see it again. Up, no blockers, straight down.
Fred Malcolm out of the back row. He hits that one wide. It's going to side out to Ohio State.
Mike Terpstra back to serve for the Buckeyes.
Malcolm is aced by Terpstra.
Fred struggling just a little bit here. See if they go back after him.
They do. Lloyd Ball helps him out. Again, he puts that one up close. Looning with the set over. Terpstra forces that one out to Gable. Now Almaldivar with a very passive block, not penetrating. And that's going to give a point to Ohio State, who lead 3-0 in game 2. Very timid looking team in IPFW this evening. Out to Papaleo. He snake arms that one inside, and Terpstra out of the back court. Junke digs that one up into the rafters. And that's going to put Buckeyes ahead 4-0 in game 2.
Got to get something going and wake up those Volleyball.
Fred Malcolm with a nice pass that time. Out to Papa. Covered by Ball. Out to Raul. He uses the block.
Nice set by Tom Junkie that time. Stepping in, knowing where his hitters are at.
Norman Almodovar.
Here we see Tom set again.
And Raul using the block. Freddie, back one. Malcolm with a nice dig. It's up to Voss, who tips. And Junkie can't handle it. Chuck Voss with the tip kill.
Tom read the dump, but he was up just a little bit too slow. Back row thought he wasn't going to get up at all.
David Freddie, a 6'6" senior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, is serving for Ohio State. Tom Junkie blasts that one as Elliot Weiner is in the net. Lloyd Ball serving for IPFW.
When the Dons pass it up on target, they're hard to stop. Now they got to get a block going here.
A quick attack, Lloyd Ball with a nice dig. Looning sends that one wide. A lot of mistakes tonight by IPFW. Trying to come out and play no mistake volleyball, and it's turned against them a little bit.
A lot of mental errors. Got to keep the ball in play.
Chuck Voss and Malcolm, nice pass. Chuck Voss to Rob Burton on the second option, who tips right and gets the kill as a point for Ohio State, who lead 5-0 in game 2. Two blockers going up on Elliot Weiner. Here we see they go up, and that leaves that right front position wide open unless the left back person comes up. Tom Junkie, a low set by Lloyd Ball. Almodovar with a nice pass out to Looning. He gets that one down the line, and Boss says you're easy. But Gable's called for a lift.
Mishandle on the set. Side out to the Dons. Crowd getting a little impatient. They want the Dons to get something going here.
Raul Papaleo serving for the Dons.
Weiner hitting it deep. Side out to the Buckeyes.
Chuck Voss doing a nice job feeding his middle.
Geibel back to serve for the Buckeyes.
Malcolm with the pass. He starts to turn it on. Almodovar out of the back row. He gets some of the fingers, and that'll be a side out for Volley Dons.
IPFW starting to pass a little better, starting to side out. I got to block for some points here now.
Junkie serving for the Dons. Burton tips that one right to Raul. Outside to Malcolm, who's blocked, but covered nicely, and Looning sets one over. This one Looning's going to handle and give it back to Lloyd Ball.
From the back row, David Freddie couldn't handle it.
Looning and Ball doing a nice job working together in the 6-2 offense they have going.
Tom Junkie back
see Lloyd
serving.
Down the line. Lloyd with another nice dig. Almodovar with a one-handed set, and Weiner
hanging in the air to stuff that ball down.
Nice job dropping that left arm and clamping down on Fred's tip. Fred Malcolm needs to pick it up in game 2. He'll find himself right on the bench with Coach Ball. Looning, he swings, and he puts that one away.
Caught the Buckeye defense running that time. They weren't stopped and in position. Here we see it again, the pass by Raul. Back set to Tony. Just a controlled shot down the line. Tony back to serve for the Dons.
Short serve, Gable handles nicely. And Freddie, David Freddie puts that one in front of the blockers, Lloyd Ball and Fred Malcolm.
Block getting up, it's just got to penetrate now.
Rob Burton, he'll serve for Ohio State. Lloyd Ball's going to kick it back to Almodovar. Elliot Weiner can't hold on to that one.
He knew that shot was coming. He was back on his heels. Couldn't quite control it.
Almodovar starting to pick up his intensity a little bit and put away some balls. Malcolm serving short
Great
for an
serve.
ace.
Great movement on that serve. It dropped right off the table as it crossed the net.
Yesterday in practice, Fred served one of those to former player Jay Goldstein. Same serve for an ace. Worked yesterday, works tonight.
Mike Terpstra off the back set. Side out. Buckeyes lead 5-2. Game 2.
Malcolm passes that one up. He's out of the back court. He puts that one away.
Caught Rob Burton running again that time. Thought he was going to go down the line. He hit it straight to middle back.
Ohio State leads game number 2, 5-2 over IPFW. Almodovar serving tough for IPFW. Freddie hitting high and out of bounds.
David Freddie really struggling tonight. Not as effective as he was last week against Ball State.
There you see Norman Almodovar with the airplane defense.
The big Ohio State roof that time. Clamped down on Fred Malcolm. Side out to the Buckeyes.
David Freddie serving for Ohio State. As we mentioned earlier, not having a real good match. He needs to turn it on a little bit also for Ohio State.
Service error. Very close to that line, but just out.
Volleyball with a nice floating serve to Terpstra. Lost to Weiner. Outside to Gable.
Off the block, out of bounds. Both teams using the opposing block pretty well on their hits.
Chuck Voss serving for Ohio State. Second option play, Raul Papaleo puts it into the corner. Raul playing very steady ball tonight. Should start seeing a lot more of the sets.
That's right, he was real disappointed last week that he wasn't a more integral part of the IPFW offense.
Burton with a roll shot right to Raul, and Junkie puts it away with the assist by Loy Ball.
Nice pass by Raul on that. Right up where Loy could use it.
There we see Junkie put it away. IPFW starting to turn it on a little bit. Getting it a little bit closer. Scores 5-4, Ohio State leads.
After a service error, Ohio State back.
Junkie off of Mike Terpstra. Tom Junkie is 6'3" junior from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Nice tough serve back in the corner.
Big Fred Malcolm presses. It's a free ball to the Dons. Norman Almodovar handles it. Looning puts it cross court into the box.
Nice set by Loy. Here we see the free ball coming over from Ohio State.
That's what every team needs to do. Put it right up to the setter. He can do anything he wants, and there you score a point. Papaleo, a tough one, but a lift is called by Patty Salvatore. It's tough for the 6'9" guy to get underneath the low passes.
Pass was just a little too quick for Loy to come out of the back row and get up to set it.
David Freddie with a big block. Shuts down Fred Malcolm, giving Ohio State point number 6.
They lead 6-5, game number 2.
Elliot Weiner still serving for the Buckeyes. Almodovar with a dunk over his head. Malcolm puts that one away. IPFW continuing to struggle on their ball control.
Just aren't playing very sharp right now.
As I look down onto the court, we see Fred blasting that. The intensity of both teams doesn't seem to be as high as last weekend in the A6 qualifier.
Rob Burton back to serve for the Buckeyes.
Loy Ball with a nice One arm set to Almodovar. He puts that one away and starts getting a little bit of intensity.
Here we see it again, hard serve.
One-handed
Pass is
set.
tight.
David Freddy not staying with Norman there. Outside of a net violation by number 3, Almodovar. Fred Malcolm playing a little self-defense defense. Turfstress serving for the Buckeyes. And he digs that one. It's up to Gable. That one's high, long out of bounds.
Just wide.
Must have been inches. Dan Springhoff on the call.
Right there at his feet. He knew it all the way.
Almodovar still serves. For IPFW, the dump. I ask you, Kyle, is that a lack of concentration on the IPFW players? Because I could see that coming from a mile away. I saw it from up here, and it must be just a
Here
lack
we
of
see it again.
You could see it coming. He doesn't even bring up his right arm to fake him out.
Blockers just aren't paying attention to when the hitters or the setters in the front row. He's able to attack that ball. They got to remember he's there.
Out of the back court, Almodovar. Starting to turn it up. Volleyball. Here we see Almodovar down the line. The freshman out of Puerto Rico, set by the freshman from Woodburn. Out to Gable. Big block. Looning and Junkie put it together.
Tony really turned that one in good. Got to turn that right hand in, force everything back into the court, and he forced it right down along the net.
So, team of the IPFW Mastodons starting to fire it up a little bit outside of Gable. That one's tooled off of Looning's right arm. Kill for Gable. The assist by Chuck Voss. And he'll serve for Ohio State. This ball game is all tied up at 6-6 in game 2. Outside of Papaleo. Nice coverage. And a lift is called. And Tom Junkie.
Point for the Buckeyes.
A lot of miscommunication with this new lineup. They've had a week to prepare with this new lineup. And Junkie. He puts that one away. Lloyd Ball is starting to feed his hot hitters. Here we see him feed Junkie. Outside to Burton. That's off the head of Tony Looney. That's going to give the side out to Ohio State.
IPFW's got to turn it up a notch here. Still not playing very sharp.
Almodovar with the tip, and Gable's there playing some nice defense for Ohio State. Burton on the right side hits that one long.
Had the triple block up that time. They're starting to hustle a little more. They got to start executing their passing and their hitting a little bit better.
Greg Gable doing a nice job playing defense for Ohio State. That's to Burton. Burton puts that one down. The assist by Chuck Voss.
Fred Malcolm floating outside on the block, left a hole. Off the top of the block by Fred Malcolm. Side out to the Volleyball. They trail 7-6, game 2.
Looning, swing hitter out of Belleville, Illinois. They'll serve that one long and give Buckeyes a side out.
Rob Burton back to serve for the Buckeyes.
Malcolm with a nice pass. Almodovar.
Off the block and out of bounds. Side out to the Volleyball.
You can see at that angle, Norman's staying pretty tight to the net. Loy's keeping it off the net, causing Almodovar to hit it behind his head. Freddie hits that one into the bottom of the net. Chuck Voss couldn't get it up to him.
trying to set that ball from his knees. He's got to get it up there so David Freddy can reach and hit it.
Malcolm going after Gable. Chuck Voss kicks it high to Freddy, who tips that one in the middle of the court. Here we see it out here, a little tight. Freddy has to tip it, and he still makes a nice play out of it. Goes to show you, it doesn't have to be a perfect set for a kill.
That's right. It doesn't have to be a straight down power spike. It all looks the same in the stats after the match.
That's a kill. And that's a service error by Mike Terpstra. His side out will go to Moldova. He's out of Yaco, Puerto Rico, just a freshman. Expect strong things out of Norman. And that one's hit very long.
Geibel launches the spike out of bounds. Point for the Volleyball.
IPFW leads game 2, 8-7. Ohio State came out very strong in game 2, leading 5-0. Now they trail.
Look like Dan Springhoff is calling a touch on that play. Looked like it got Fred Malcolm on that play. Side out to the Volleyball, or to the Buckeyes, I should say. David Freddy back serving.
Junkie, oh, nice play by Mike Terpstra. Fred Malcolm puts one up to Lloyd Ball, who throws that one down.
Good scrappy defense by the Buckeyes, but you can't give IPFW a free ball.
Here we see right there. Junkie gets enough hand on it to pop it up. Lloyd Ball with the jump serve. Backcourt to David Freddy. He sends that one into the bench. And that's going to give IPFW .9.
And a timeout for the Buckeyes.
IPFW slowly making some progress. They seem a little flat tonight, Colin. Just sitting up here, and they just don't look quite as intense as last weekend.
That's right. To receive a free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to College Cable Access Center at IPFW, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805-1499, or call us at 481-6582. The Dons just don't seem to be having much enthusiasm out there. They're going through it kind of mechanically, and they're not really getting into the match as much. Maybe they're not comfortable in their new positions, this new lineup. They got to start showing some spark sometime.
I have to agree with you, Colin. I believe the new lineup's got a few people thinking about what's going on out there and not really concentrating on playing the game. I think by end of this game, we'll see the transitions from defense to offense, offense to defense get a little bit smoother. Boy, ball serving, and it's out to Gable. And that one goes in. A nice shot in the deep right corner.
Looks like they just need to bring their concentration level up that time. It looked like an easy dig for Fred, and he just plain missed it.
Chuck Voss, he'll serve for Buckeyes. Fred Malcolm starting to pass a lot better. Mooning Tool Burton. I think that's why we've seen the turnaround in game 2. Fred Malcolm is passing the ball better. If they can just start playing consistent and steady, they'll be all right. And that goes to Lloyd Ball. He digs it out to Fred Malcolm. And that one's hit wide.
There we see the advantage of having more than one setter in the lineup. Setter Lloyd Ball had to dig that ball. Tony Looning was there to set it.
Back set to Tony Looning. We have a net violation by Mike Terpstra. It's going to give a side out to IPFW and Tom the Junkman. will go back and serve. The set to Elliot Weiner. Back set to Fred Malcolm. Off the hands. And Gable's doing a nice job staying back there and playing ball.
Oh.
Quick hands by Voss. Out to Terpstra. Oh, we're seeing some defense now. And a big block by Weiner and Burton. There, we're starting to see it pick up a little bit. Getting a rally going, and Buckeyes win that rally.
Some good digs on both sides of the net. As you mentioned, Geibel staying deep, knowing that IPFW is going to be hitting that ball high off the top of the block. He's staying back there deep, playing that ball. IPFW is starting to play a little defense themselves. Raul Papaleo and Tom Junkie in the back row digging the ball up on target.
Todd Brooks comes into the lineup for Ohio State, and he's serving for the Buckeyes. Outside to Malcolm, who hits off the block. There we saw a little anger come out in Fred as he rips that one off the hands.
Fred's starting to pick it up a little bit, passing better, starting to hit the ball.
Winning, there it is. Lloyd Ball throws one over. Burton's going to send a free ball to the Dons. As Lloyd Ball gets blocked by David Freddy.
That's a tough angle to hit the ball. Can't really see those blockers when you got to follow the ball up over your left shoulder.
Here we see it here. Two blockers all over him. I believe Lloyd's tipping a little bit too much, attacking the ball, and he needs to just keep setting it. He's much more effective when he only does that about once or twice a match.
Geibel with another great dig in the back row for the Buckeyes. Another point for the Buckeyes. They're still trailing 9-8 here in game 2. Best 3 out of 5 match.
Join us tomorrow evening. Our first match. The Penn State Nittany Lions take on the loser of this match. And following that match, the USC Trojans, the #1 ranked team in the country, will take on the winner of this match. Should be some more exciting volleyball, Colin.
That's right. David Freddy showing signs of life here, blocking Tony Looning straight down.
That's going to tie it up, 9-9, outside to Lloyd Ball. Nice set by Tony Looning, and Lloyd Ball goes after it. Burton with a nice dig. Terpstra with the tool off of Malcolm.
The Buckeyes regain the lead, 10-9. They jumped out early, but the IPFW Volleyball fought back and took the lead.
The Buckeyes take it right back. Papaleo with a nice pass, and Malcolm, he rolls that one down for the kills. All 3 Ohio State defensemen are back on their heels. Malcolm back to serve.
That's a great shot by Fred. He needs to do that a little more often, I think.
The set's outside to Raul Papaleo, off the hands. We have some trouble. It's coming over.
Play.
Oh, nice hit by Norman Almodovar. Great hustle by Ohio State. Tony Looning standing on the other side just pops it up for Norman. I don't know if that was planned, but it happened that way.
Looked like a little miscommunication that turned into a great play. Nobody was willing to take that free ball, and Tony had to dive. He popped it up, and there was Norman.
And they're back to the track again. Geibel sends this one over. Malcolm puts it up to Loy, who back sets it to Norman. And Burton playing some nice defense. Buckeyes continuing to play defense. Loy kicks it out to the Papa.
Off the block.
Off the block. Papaleo.
2 points in a row for the Dons.
They take the lead back. Game 2, they
keep
win.
this momentum rolling.
Chuck Voss kicks it out to David Freddy, and he puts that one down. Got to go to their bread and butter, and they do. David Freddy. Chuck Voss with a very smart set, kicking it high outside to their big guy. Here we see it again. David Freddy inside. #9, Raul Papaleo, standing up, hoping that his teammate gets that one. Malcolm tosses it up outside to Papaleo. It's high off the block and out of bounds. Raul Papaleo, he plays a very similar game to the player of Karch Karai, where he's pretty steady, keeps his emotions very under control.
Really wanted to get involved in tonight's match. He thought he didn't get to touch the ball enough last week.
Freddie hits that one wide, tries to cut it back. IPFW goes ahead 12-10 in game 2.
Paul Springhoff into the lineup to serve for the Volleyball.
Mike Terpstra with a real nice pass.
Off the block. David Freddie with another kill. Elliot Weiner back into the lineup for the Buckeyes.
Elliot Weiner's doing a nice job. He's been blocking Fred Malcolm quite a bit in this match. Let's see if that helps him out here now. Oh, it was Junkie Tools, Geibel. The assist by Lloyd Ball.
The old fake one ball.
It's a nice play. The middle drives hard for the one ball. The middle blocker on the other side jumps. And it's kind of a delayed one ball. Takes the middle blocker on the other side right out of the game. Freddie digging a ball. You know the defense is hot when David Freddie starts digging balls.
And Rob Burton rolls one into the net for another point. Point 13 for the Volleyball. They lead game 2, 13-10. We have a timeout by the Buckeyes.
Not pretty, but IPFW doing what they have to win game 3. Excuse me, to take the lead in game 3, 13-10.
Also, the winner of the Glenbrook Dodge Hyundai serving contest, the one that will be serving is Lisa Carey.
IPFW right now is
Please come to the scores.
looking to get momentum. Next weekend they'll be at Penn State for the Penn State Invitational. Very strong tournament there also, with the host, number 8 Penn State, being there along with a strong Ball State team and Rutgers out of Newark.
We've seen both Penn State and Ball State, so we know that that's going to be an extremely strong tournament next week. Hope the Dons can finish well here and carry some momentum into that tournament.
The winner of this match plays USC tomorrow night at 8 o'clock here at the Mastodons. I believe, Colin, whatever team advances out of this match is going to have to play a lot better than what they're showing tonight.
That's right. Both ball control and just intensity, the level of play. They need to execute. Tony Luding hitting one deep to the back line.
He goes high over the block. Raul Papaleo serving for the Volleyball. Chuck Voss sets Burton outside. And Tony Luding, with that right hand facing outwards, makes the ball go out.
Got to penetrate, force that ball back in.
Geibel serving for Ohio State. He goes after Malcolm, and Lloyd Ball kicks it out to Luning. He just blips one over the top. Chuck Voss can't handle it. We're going to have 2 substitutions for IPFW. Moldovar comes back in for Paul Springhoff, and Mike Steiner comes in for Tom Junkie.
Seeing a little more substitution by Coach Ball in this week's match. He didn't substitute very much at all last week. Getting some more players in. Keeping the others fresh.
Mike Terpstra puts that one away. Got lucky, hit that one middle back and just happened to be no defensive person there.
Elliot Weiner serving for the Buckeyes.
He goes out to Luning, and he gets blocked.
Rob Burton and David Freddie stuffing straight down. Point 11 for the Buckeyes.
And they want to come back and take the lead back in game 2. That one goes out to Malcolm. He hits that one inside, and it's touch off the block. That's a kill for Fred Malcolm.
David Freddie signaling, yes, I did touch that ball. Nice sportsmanship there.
Call it right away with your hands. Or the touch.
You can hear up official Patty Salvatore telling Dan Springout to call that right away. Mooning goes after Geibel. And Freddie blasts that one into the net. That's going to set IPFW for game point. Game 2.
We've got a big front lineup. Let's see if we can get a stuffed block for game number 2.
Real big front row. Out to Terpstra. Hits that one long. That's going to go to IPFW. 15-11. Repeating game 1 by the score of 15-11. IPFW doing just enough to win the game.
That's right. They weren't getting excited. They just kept steady, kind of mechanical. They're just out there getting the job done. They need to get a little more spark. They get things fired up. They could blow this Ohio State team out of the gym.
Pretty good attempt.
You can come out and support the IPFW men's volleyball team.
Right now we're seeing a serving contest.
And Lisa's last attempt is worth $2,500.
Serving first for a car, then for $5,000, and now for $2,500.
Put the ball through the hole.
Have a nice round of applause for Lisa Gary. A game effort.
I think that was a little bit closer than what we could have done, Colin.
That's right.
The scores table is Craig Tuttle of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Craig Tuttle wins the jump ball.
IPFW needs to come out. They can't let down like they did last week against Ball State. They can't let this Buckeye team back into it, or they could.
We'll never see eye to eye on anything.
Don't be so short-sighted. We can both see that space research benefits everyone.
Oh, like the scratch-proof lens developed for the Apollo space camera?
That same technology led to scratch-proof eyeglasses, sunglasses.
And even goggles.
You wouldn't need those if your horse was always in front.
That's a tall order.
What we're learning up there
is helping us all down here.
Space technology.
This is what's in it for you.
But don't have anyone with the right skills and knowledge to turn to for help with their taxes. You or your organization can be there for someone who needs help. Volunteer your time, and the IRS will volunteer the training to help make someone's taxes less taxing.
Some people think Social Security is just for retirement.
But if a serious illness or injury puts you out of work, Social Security can pay disability.
Even if you're years from retirement.
And it would pay your family survivor's benefits if somehow your life gets cut short.
So what benefits can you expect? Find out by calling 1-800-2345-SSA.
For your own personal earnings and benefit estimate statement. Social Security, it's not just for retirement.
It's for life.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to IPFW Mastodon as the IPFW men's volleyball team is leading 2-0 over the Ohio State Buckeyes. The scores of 15-11 and 15-11. Game 3 will be underway here in a moment. It's Colin Leiter and myself, Lauren Jeever. We discussed a little bit about what each team needs to do in Game 3 to win.
That's right. I think both the IPFW team and this crowd in general are waiting for something to happen. It's kind of quiet here. Crowd's not really into it. They got to start making better defensive plays, putting that ball away. They got to start executing a little more sharply. For Ohio State, they got to start serving a little sharper. Playing defense, they got to get the block up. They got to start executing on offense.
a big key, I believe. David Freddy gets back into the ball game. You'll see Ohio State give IPFW a tough time. It's not that the other players around David cannot do the job. It's that he just seems to be a natural leader. When he plays well, they play well. And that's just a key you look for into your seniors.
That's right. Got to have that senior leadership.
Outside to Lloyd Ball, who's blocked by Chuck Voss and Elliot Weiner. They're going to give Ohio State their first point in game 3.
Ohio State got out fast last game, but their lead didn't last long.
Here we see that lineup change in IPFW. We've gone to the 6-2 with Tony Looning setting Lloyd Ball. And Geibel puts that one away as the Buckeyes take off again in game 3, 2-0.
Put it through the triple block that time.
Ohio State advanced to a nice lead in game 2. They were ahead 5-0 but lost 15-11 in game 2. Malcolm, Freddie, he digs it. And it's to Terpstra. Tom Junkie, it's going to be a tough ball to handle. We have a net violation by Geibel.
IPFW got lucky on that one. Gave him an easy free ball right on top of the net. Ohio State just got a little too hungry for it.
You always get hungry. You see that ball coming over the net. You always get a little greedy. That's out to Raul Papaleo. He snakes shots that one in. Geibel. That one's tooled off the block into the antenna. And that's going to go to Ohio State. And they're going to try for their 3rd point. Malcolm out of the back row. He sends that one off of David Freddy.
Fred's really starting to crank on that ball. He got all of that one. David Freddy back on his heels knowing it was a hot shot. Couldn't handle it.
Neil Day, the East Stroudsburg transfer, back to serve. He's back into the lineup. Great hustle by the Ohio State Buckeyes, but you cross that imaginary line and that's out of bounds by the bench.
Your last contact with the floor has to be inside the playing area. Cannot go past the bench. Point for the Volleyball.
Coach Ball again changing the lineup a little bit. Neil Day will be in for Norman Moldovar, playing middle there. Just playing around with it, see where he can find the best 6 combination out there. The score's all tied at 2 apiece. And Rob Burton makes it 3-2 in favor of IPFW.
IPFW is starting to play better now. Forcing Ohio State to make errors, keeping the ball in play.
Day continues to serve for IPFW. Looning with a nice dig. Lloyd Ball's up. He tries to back set Malcolm. That's going over. Papaleo's there. It's back to Malcolm. And Voss with a nice dig. David Freddy's going to set that one into trouble land. And that one.
Touch out of the back row. Mike Terpstra trying to make the dig.
IPFW, they're showing now some streaks of consistency and why they are ranked number 10 in the country.
That's a good way to give up your momentum. Start building momentum with a couple good plays. Service error really hurts.
Geibel back to serve. He's going after Malcolm. Tom Junkie with a high shot over the block. And Geibel can't handle it. Tom Junkie, very effective offensively. Very quick arm swing, great athlete. Gets up well.
Lloyd Ball back to jump serve.
That one, I don't know if it went through the net.
Service ace for the Dons.
Just squeaks over the net. Nice jump serve by Lloyd Ball. Here come IPFW, here they go. That one's sent up into the bleachers. IPFW now starting to play like they can play. Maybe it's the lineup change. What do you think, Colin?
I think it's just a little growing confidence in this lineup. They're starting to get used to each other, starting to realize that they can play with each other. They're starting to execute a little bit more. Maybe a lack of confidence on Ohio State's part as a couple unforced errors giving away points. Crowd's starting to get into this, realizing that
there we go. We see some
IPFW could have a 3-game sweep here. See some fans enjoying the action here.
Out at the Mastodons, IPFW Fort Wayne campus. Volleyball, he'll serve for IPFW. He's going to stick with the jump serve. Out to Terpstra. Big block by Looning, but there's a net violation. Tony Looning was in the net.
Weiner back to serve for the Buckeyes. IPFW leading 5-2, game number 3.
Papaleo. It goes back court to Malcolm. And he tools the block. Elliot Weiner with a nice try. Can't get to it. Papaleo, he'll serve for the Dons. Here we see Malcolm hitting that off the arms of Mike Terpstra. Voss, he kicks it out to Terpstra. And it's high and into the hands of Raul. Can't handle it.
Rob Burton back to serve for the Buckeyes.
Papaleo with a nice pass, and that's fed to Junkie. Volleyball knows Tom Junkie is a threat offensively, so he gives it to him.
Here we see it. Good pass
Junkie.
by Raul.
Boom. Neil Day not pressing very hard on that. Brings the ball back on his side.
Mike Terpstra back to serve for the Buckeyes.
David Freddy clamping down on Neil Day and gives that point to Ohio State. They're trailing IPFW, a score of 5-3.
Lloyd Ball trying to get a little too cute on that last play. Tony Looney
putting that away. I believe the first mistake Ohio State made was serving Raul Papaleo. He's a very steady passer.
Into the lineup for the Volley-Dons. Fort Wayne product out of Concordia Lutheran High School. Number 1, Kevin Beck.
I wouldn't be too surprised if Kevin doesn't set in this rotation. Yep, Lloyd Ball's going to block left side. I believe Kevin will be setting.
Blockers forgot to keep track of the setter that time. Greg Voss with the dump and kill. Blocker just would have been up. That dump hit the top of the net. Could have been an easy block for a point.
Freddie going after Papaleo again. Back to Fred Malcolm. And Voss sets Freddie out of the back row. And there's major roof by Lloyd Ball.
That's a big block that Lloyd puts up there with Neil Day next to him.
Tom Junkie with a one-arm dig. Neil Day just punches it through. That's going to give IPFW point number 6.
Lloyd Ball starting to get a little fired up. So we see
Mike
the action
Terpstra,
in
nice
the
pass.
replay.
And another block. Lloyd Ball turning it on for IPFW. He's a freshman sensation.
Makes a score 7-3 in favor of the Volley-Dons.
Malcolm with a nice serve. Terpstra passes it well. David Freddy. Neil Day with a block. IPFW turning on their defense. It's set outside, backcourt to Tom Junkie. And that one goes out. IPFW really turning it on at the end of game 3 here. Starting to put up a big block and play some defense behind it.
Here we see the play again. Couldn't handle it off the block.
Brent Kleinschmidt comes in for Ohio State. just enough to mess up Fred Malcolm as he serves that one into the net.
See Kevin Beck setting up to serve with a net serve by Greg Voss.
Neil Day back to serve for IPFW. Neil Day, a very enthusiastic player when he's out on the court. He's having a good time. He's really concentrating. Sometimes he almost concentrates too hard where he loses track where he's at.
Double hit on the set. Free ball pass was just a little too tight for Kevin Beck that time. Not as an experienced setter as Volleyball is.
That one's a second option play to Loy. He goes high. Kevin Beck with the assist, doing a nice job right now, coming in and running the team of IPFW. Loy Ball with another jump serve service ace, just missing the top of the net.
Nothing but varnish on that serve. Caught the Buckeyes looking at each other. Here we see it.
Boom. Here we go again. Throws that one up. Geibel handles that one easy. Terpstra outside. Neil Day with the dig.
Tom Junkie with the block.
It's back set to Burton. And Neil Day scrambling everywhere he can to go for a dig. He jumps in front of Malcolm. The kill by Rob Burton.
Got fired up by that first dig a little too much that time. Kevin Beck under the net, crossing the center line for a violation.
From here, it looked like he still had most of his foot on his own side, but Dan Brandt's down, right down on the floor, so he can see it better than me. It's a service ace. Service ace. Brant Kleinschmidt comes into the lineup, sparking the Buckeyes a little bit. Moldovar.
Giving Fred Malcolm a well-deserved rest. Coach Ball not liking the way Fred was passing there.
Moldovar comes in, nice pass. Papaleo. Neil Day with a nice dig. The hit, Papaleo. Geibel with a dig. It's set outside of Terpstra. Kevin Beck with a dig. He's set outside, and he's blocked by the big guy, David Freddy.
Not a very wise choice to set by Loy Ball that time. Kevin Beck's not a big hitter. You got Raul Papaleo hitting well on the backside. Naval wanted to go back there.
Tom Junkie puts that underneath the legs of Kleinschmidt, getting the crowd excited. Here we see it again, the junk man, the 31 set. A nice shoot set by Loy Ball.
Caught the Ohio State blockers a little slow getting off the ground that time.
Papaleo, he serves one deep to Terpstra. It goes back out to him. High off the block. Papaleo with a nice dig. Moldovar sends that one down the line. And he blasts Chuck Voss.
Point number 10 for the Volleyball.
Here we see it outside. He turns and he rips that down the line. And Terpstra answers with that one there. Gives him the kill on the side out to Ohio State. They're trailing IPFW 10-6 in game 3. Kevin Beck off the block, and there's a net violation. Mike Terpstra was in the net. Kevin Beck doing a nice job coming in. This is his first time he's been in the heavy action like this.
Right, he's performing well. Tom Junkie serving long. Buckeyes not showing any signs of folding right now, trying to fight back.
Papaleo with a quick pass, and they call Lloyd ball for the carry. That's going to give Ohio State point number 7. They're trying to make this comeback. Game 3, 10-7, IPFW leads. Back set to Kevin Beck, and he puts that one away. Kevin Beck doing a nice job coming in.
Coach Ball wanting to get a lot of players some playing time here.
See it again, the 6'1 freshman from Concordia High School. Hometown favorite.
David Freddie, big hitter. Freddie back to serve for the Buckeyes.
Pops it up to Lloyd Ball, who gets the kill. Nice. Kevin Beck does a nice job making something out of that. Popping it up high, what he needs to do, broken play. You just kick it up high and let your outside hitter swing away at it.
Get it up high where somebody can do something with it.
Norman Almodovar, nice serve. Papaleo with a dig. Kevin Beck is there. He sets it back to him.
Rob Burton with the dig.
There's the dump.
Tom Junkie saw that one coming. Raul Papaleo mishits that ball out of bounds.
Kevin Beck and Lloyd Ball having trouble seeing who's going to set the ball. High off the hands. Voss sets it out to Geibel. And that's a big block. Neil Day puts that one down. He's an intense player. I like watching Neil play. He gets pumped up. Here we see it again. Boom.
Neil Day back to serve now for the Dons. They lead 10-7, game 3.
Middle blocker out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Kleinschmidt called for the lift. It's going to put IPFW ahead 11-7 over the Buckeyes. It's getting closer and closer. They're looking forward to playing USC tomorrow night at 8 p.m. A very strong USC team, #1 in the country.
Quentin Spiegel, number 7, into the Volleyball lineup. His first action of the season. And an ace serve.
Nice way to come into the match. First time into action in 1991 season. He comes in with an ace.
Paul Esco starting to struggle a little bit, trying to pass back there for the Buckeyes.
Coach Ball has to be very pleased with the way his players off the bench are coming in and doing a nice job contributing right away, as we saw Quentin with an ace there. He's got to be pleased with that.
That's right. With the limited substitutions that they have in the men's play, you got to come in and you got to do something right away, or you're not going to see much playing time. Tom Junkie blasting that one ball out of bounds. Paul Esco returning the favor by serving out of bounds.
Lloyd Ball back to serve. Getting back, ready to jump serve. Last 2 times he started off with an ace. Paul Esco is not going to let him do it this time. Quentin Spiegel coming in with a nice dig.
Nice
Kevin
save
Beck.
by Kevin.
Outside to Terpstra. Off the hands, and Norman Almodovar with a nice. Papaleo's going to send a free ball to the Buckeyes. Kleinschmidt, he puts that one away. Brant Kleinschmidt with a nice shot out of the middle. He'll go back to serve for Ohio State, and they're trailing. Here we see it again. Nice set by Chuck Voss. Kleinschmidt was a good extension in the arm. Second option. Voss with a beach dig. Esco out of the back row.
The jump man.
He hangs just long
down.
enough. Good timing by Tom Junkie. It's not necessarily the leaping ability of Tom, but the timing.
Raul Papaleo back to serve.
He'll bring out his jump. Esco takes that one. And Freddie pulls one off of Junkie.
Raul, anticipating out of the back row, was already falling down and couldn't play that ball.
Rob Burton, he's serving for Ohio State. It's going to be kicked out to Almodovar. He hits that one into the net. And Ohio State scores point number 9.
They trail 12-9, game 3. They're behind 0 games to 2 in this best 3 out of 5 game match.
This is our second match of the 1991 Fort Wayne National Bank Pepsi Invitational. IPFW bringing the best in men's collegiate volleyball week in and week out. Little trouble there by Papaleo. Kevin Beck sends it over. Again, we have some defensive communication problems. Looked like Quentin Spiegel was sucking in a little bit into the court. The ball's hit high off the block, and he has trouble moving backwards.
Both players were there ready to play the ball. Someone's just got to take charge back there and say, I got it. Play the ball up there. It's like a little miscommunication on the serve reception, as those last couple serves looked like they might have been a little bit long if they would have been let go, but our passers went ahead and tried to pass them.
What happens so many times in the game of volleyball, you can have some great individual players and you put six out on the court together, and every player wants to touch that ball, and you end up actually getting in each other's way if you don't communicate and learn how to play together. It's a very big team sport.
That's right, communication plays a big part in this game. Rob Burton still serving for the Buckeyes.
He goes to Almodovar, passes it very well. And he blasts that one wide down the line. The Buckeyes coming back. They tie it up 12-12.
Crowd's starting to get a little anxious. They want the Dons to put this away.
That one served long, giving IPFW a second win.
Neil Day back into the lineup, replacing Quentin Spiegel.
Seeing a lot of different faces tonight on IPFW's side, trying to find the 6 that work well together. David Freddy gets the kill. Chuck Voss assists.
A little confusion on the part of the IPFW block that time. Not sure where they were supposed to go.
Mike Terpstra with a nice serve. And Chuck Voss, the setter for Ohio State, puts that one deep into the box. That puts Ohio State in the lead for the first time in game 3. Excuse me, they take the lead back. Almodovar with a pass. It's set back out to him.
Off the antenna. Another point for the Buckeyes.
That's going to make Coach Ball call his second timeout. Ohio State getting things going. IPFW making mistake after mistake.
Really breaking down there. Not so much Ohio State coming back as IPFW making mental errors and just giving the points away.
Ooh, sounds like there's some mean grizzly bears in this forest.
Bears aren't mean, Kermit. They're just predators. Any animal that hunts and eats another animal is a predator. You know, frogs are predators too.
Yeah, but predators are in trouble because of poaching and shrinking habitats.
That's right. If you'd like to learn more, write Predators, National Wildlife Federation, Washington, D.C., 20036.
Great! Now what's for supper?
Welcome back. We're in game 3 as Buckeyes of Ohio State getting ready to serve for game point against our hometown IPFW Mastodons.
Tony Looning inserted into the lineup for the Dons.
It's out to Almodovar. He hits it off the block.
Tony Looning back to serve for the Dons. They got him on a comeback here.
He goes after Terpstra with a nice aggressive serve. Geibel outside. Big block by Neil Day and Loy Ball.
Both newcomers to this program getting excited, getting that crowd fired up. Let's see if they can do it again.
Volleyball, you see there, he's a very big crowd pleaser.
Greg Voss has been very effective with that shot all night. IPFW is not paying enough attention and not stopping that shot.
David Freddy back to serve for Ohio State, the big guy out of Oklahoma.
Double hit called. They said Brant Kleinschmidt tried to attack the ball. He didn't try to block it. So when he hit it into the net and then played it out, that was the 2 hits.
Almodovar from Puerto Rico serving. Buckeyes holding on with everything they have. Net violation by Geibel. Timeout goes to Ohio State. Coach Pete Hansen doesn't like the way the Buckeyes are playing in the final points of game 3.
That last play looked like Lloyd Ball was in the net also, but it's the first player that's in the net ends the play. And Ohio State was in it first. That ties the score at 14. We'll be back right after this message.
Kareem, we'll never see eye to eye on anything.
Don't be so short-sighted. We can both see that space research benefits everyone.
Oh, like the scratch-proof lens developed for the Apollo space camera?
That same technology led to scratch-proof eyeglasses, sunglasses.
And even goggles.
You wouldn't need those if your horse was always in front.
That's a tall order.
What we're learning up there
is helping us all down here.
Space technology.
This is what's in it for you.
We're back and in the final points of game 3. The score is all tied at 14-14.
Coach Ball does not like what he's seen out there. Too many easy errors.
IPFW holding on.
Norman Almodovar out of the back row. Down the front of the Ohio State block. Neil Day back to serve for the Dons.
Neil Day watches that one go down. Kleinschmidt doing a nice job. High over the block into the corner. We have a very tight game right now. Lloyd Ball throwing that one outside. Papaleo hits it high out of bounds. That's going to put the Buckeyes ahead, 15-14.
Game point. Greg Geibel serving.
Nice hustle by Lloyd Ball. Tom Junkie sends that one long. The last 2 hitting errors cost IPFW game 3 as the Buckeyes win 16-14. IPFW though still leading 2-1, the best 3 out of 5 game match. A lot of errors out there tonight, Colin.
That's right. Looked like IPFW ran a streak there where they got things going. They started to relax and coast a little bit. Tried to get a little too cute on some of their plays. Stopped executing what they were doing right to get that lead. Ohio State came back, put them away.
Hey, we'll be right back right after these.
When 2 people feel the way that your mother and I do about each other, there's a strong desire to express that love. Are you listening?
Dad, is this a sex talk? Because if it is, I already know all about it.
Oh, you do?
Uh-huh.
How well do you know all about it?
Well enough.
Well enough. I know you and your friends, you know it all. Just humor me. You know about pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I feel about responsibility.
Yes.
How much do you know about AIDS? Looks like we have a couple of things to talk about, huh? Joshua, someone can have the AIDS virus for a long time and not even know it.
Okay, we're back, and we're heading into game 4 as the Buckeyes just defeated IPFW in game 3, 16-14. IPFW still leads, though, 15-11, 15-11. Games 1 and 2. The winner of this match will advance tomorrow night and play the #1 team in the country, USC out of Southern California, which they'll have their work cut out for them. A very strong team with the likes of Brian Ivey, All-American, Pat Ivey, his younger brother, the freshman, Dan Greenbaum, doing a nice job running the show for USC. And another All-American who we didn't see play much tonight, but Xing Kai Lu.
That's right. USC showed in that first match why they were ranked #1. They executed every play that they had to. Came out, didn't lose any concentration. Really weren't really tested by Penn State that often. Right here in this match, we've got to see our Dons pull together a little bit more. Got to start executing, passing, defense, and blocking.
What IPFW needs to do is what the Californians like to say is they need to start digging lips. And they're not doing that right now. They're just kind of sitting back, hoping that Ohio State makes the mistakes. And in game 3, Ohio State didn't make them.
That's right. Those last 2 points were prime examples of that. Bad pass. Get the ball up. You got to keep the ball in the court. IPFW blasted the ball out of bounds. You got to make the other team play the ball. Make them make the errors or put it down.
Volleyball will get ready to serve. Game 4, the best 3 out of 5 game match. Volleyball bringing out the jump serve. No, he's going to stay down. He's going to stay down and serve a tough floater at Geibel. Out to Terpstra.
Off the block. Ohio State coming out fired up. They've got the momentum going for them right now.
As we saw, excuse me, Colin.
IPFW's got to do something to change the momentum of this match or they could be in trouble.
As we saw last weekend, IPFW came out strong against Ball State, winning the first 2 games and losing the next 3. I don't think we're going to see that this evening, but they better watch their backsides.
All right, David Freddy's starting to get fired up for Ohio State. You don't want that to happen.
Chuck Voss, he backsets Terpstra with a Moldovar right there. Ohio State wanted a lift call on Roy Ball. Tony Looning over that one. Raul Papaleo sets it up nicely out to Malcolm.
Voss with the dig.
And Burton puts that one in the middle of the net. That's going to give a point to IPFW and the Dons, who take the lead in game 4, 1-0.
We see Rob Burton just kind of running out of gas and putting it in the net.
Out to Burton again. He knuckles that one. The old knuckleball.
That makes it 2-0 in favor of the Volleyball.
There we see the momentum change already. That's back to Terpstra. He sends that one high over the block and out of bounds. No touch. That's going to give IPFW .3.
Coach Pete Hansen not happy with what he's seeing.
Papaleo still serving for the Volleyball. Malcolm puts that one down. Sat out in game 3, but back alive in game 4.
Thank you very much for that set. Here we see it again, right on top. Fred just hammers it down on the 10-foot line.
Brant Kleinschmidt high off the block. Tony Looning setting Lloyd Ball out of the back row. David Freddy says you're easy. Burton gets blocked by Neil Day and Tony Looning. There you see the excitement of number 5, Neil Day.
Timeout to the Buckeyes. IPFW leading 5-0 in game number 4. What do you think, Lauren? Are they fired up a little bit?
I believe they are. Again, another lineup change. Fred Malcolm back in. This time, Neil Day and Norman Almaldivar in the middle. Tom Junkie comes out. They seem to be playing a little bit better ball control. And a little bit more intensity. They felt like, oh, we ourselves lost that game 3. We need to do something about game 4.
That's right. They came out of the blocks smoking this time.
Raul Papaleo, sophomore for IPFW. He'll serve as we see Neil Day ready to block a ball. Back to Terpstra. The big block of Malcolm and Day.
Neil Day really getting that team fired up. He's going to be fun to watch all year.
They like to say it's daytime when he's up there.
John Cummings into the Buckeye lineup. See if he can help change some momentum for the Buckeyes.
Papaleo serves to Esco. Nice sprawled out dig.
Oh, and it hits the light. Out of play. Great hustle on the part of Fred Malcolm to go get that ball.
And great extension by Raul to lay out his body and pop that ball right up. It's a nice pass. That's back set to Looning. He puts that one down. The assist by Loy Ball. IPFW playing very much more under control than games 1, 2, and 3.
Neil Day back to serve. I think the referees missed one on that one.
Paul Esco with a nice pass. It's back to John Cummings, who we see in the game for the first time tonight. He's out of Laguna Beach, California. A lot of players from California making a trip to the Midwest to play on some teams. Norman Almaldivar, Chuck Voss hangs just long enough to pop it up, but no one to help him out.
His back row help was diving behind him. No chance for anybody else to come get it. Tony Looning serving for the Dons.
He goes after Paul Esco. And Norman Almaldivar hangs and gives us a big Kong block. Very nice job. Again, he's got great jumping ability, but he used the timing and just threw that ball back down. That ball served long.
Score is 7-0 in favor of the Dons, game 4.
John Cummings, a 6'1" sophomore. He'll serve for the Buckeyes. Malcolm, Kleinschmidt to ball, Terpstra, and ball throws it down. Great defense by Ohio State, but can't last long enough for Lloyd Ball to throw that one down. Some nice digs.
There's that height advantage, having a 6'9" setter, dunking it down over the opposing setter.
It's out to David Freddy. Goes high, deep into the corner. Great shot by David Freddy. But the ball in the box is defense. Middle backs usually stay in middle back, and the boxes are a great shot. Fred Malcolm with a nice pass. Papaleo gets blocked. It hits him off his head. Chuck Voss, one-on-one.
The Buckeyes break onto the scoreboard, but still trail 7-1, game 4.
Papaleo doesn't like getting blocked. He puts that one off the hands.
Norman Almaldivar back to serve for the Dons. Great movement on that serve, and Paul Esco can't handle it. Yeah. Service ace. Norman Almaldivar.
Keeping that ball very low and floating nicely. Driving it into the net that time. David Freddy serving for Ohio State. Kind of quiet in this evening's match. You serve that one wide.
Side out to the Dons. Volleyball to serve. 8-1, game 4.
He throws that one up. Nice tip by Chuck Voss. That time he uses his right hand, tips it over his right shoulder instead of throwing it down with his left. Nice job mixing it up. We're going to see some nice things out of Chuck in the years to come. It's nice to have a sophomore running the team. You look forward to having him the next 2 years. Setter, I believe, Colin, is the key to the team.
That's right. IPFW is in a great position for the next 4 years with Lloyd Ball in there.
Neil Day. It's blocked but covered up. Little miscommunication between Lloyd Ball and Neil Day.
Nice coverage in the back by Norman, but that communication is oh so important.
Lloyd thought he was going in the back one. He goes to the front. And there's a net serve. That's going to the Dons. They're going to see if they can get off point 8. Papaleo is going to help them out. Cummings with the tip. Lloyd Ball trying the pancake. Doesn't work.
You talked about that in earlier matches. Players trying to pancake that ball instead of playing it and then going through it.
Problem they have is they try to time the ball to their hand and they don't actually go hard after the ball and dig it up.
Tony Looning on the back set.
Looning doing a nice job offensively. We saw him in game 1 set. It's out to Cummings. He goes high off the block. Papaleo's back there. It's out to Malcolm. Terpstra with a nice dig. We're seeing a lot of digs out of Terpstra tonight.
Papaleo again.
Control. And Norman Amaldavar puts it down.
A great slam dunk, but it's all set up by the great digs by Raul Papaleo.
Nice job controlling the ball, making it go where he wants it to go. There we see Freddie and Papaleo bring right up there. No one home. Brent Kleitschmidt forgot that he was on the middle blocker.
Volleyball's playing up to their capabilities, leading this game 4, 9-2. Starting to put together some strings of points, passing a little more effectively. Good choices as far as who to set by the freshman Lloyd Ball. Still expecting a lot of great things out of this team. They just got to start pulling it all together. They could be going places this year.
I have full confidence in the 1991 team. I believe they'll pull it together, and you'll see some new things out of this team. They'll achieve some new records, some new personal bests, and so forth. Lionschmidt hits it off Amaldavar.
Just out of bounds.
Kleinschmidt will serve. 6'5" junior out of Westerville, Ohio. A few years ago, Arnie Ball tried to recruit Kleinschmidt.
Paul Esco with the big block on Fred Malcolm. Point number 3 for the Buckeyes.
Freddie trying to go line over the shorter blocker. Just didn't extend well on his arm swing that time. Mooning does there. He takes Kleinschmidt.
Tony keeps hitting like that, he's going to get those guys shell-shocked in the back row.
Tony hits a very hard ball, very heavy. Probably the most physically strong person on the team. That one sends it up to the coaches for USC. They're out scouting the Dons in Ohio State. See who they'll play tomorrow night.
John Cummings back to serve for the Buckeyes.
And that ball's called in by Dan Springer.
Service ace.
Good call by Dan.
Point number 4.
Here we see Loy calling out the plays to his hitters. There are plays in volleyball. That one's blocked by David Freddy. Ohio State scoring point number 5. They're closing the gap, Colin.
Right. IPFW is starting to relax a little bit. They got him on the ropes. They got to put him away now.
Papaleo with a nice dig. It's back to Tony Looning out of the back court.
Mike Terpstra jumping in front of his teammate there.
There's where we see that playing together is a big key. Your other players tend to juke out your other players. Freddy, and we have Almodovar into the net. Silly mistakes like that, that's what upsets Coach Ball. You get a nice block and one of your players is in the net. Papaleo, great pass. It's back to Fred Malcolm out of the back court. He jumps all the way underneath the net.
Ball is down before he crossed the center line, so it's a side out for the Volleyball.
Once the ball hits the ground, that's dead. You can do anything after that. Almodovar, low serve. David Freddy hits that one long. That's going to give IPFW point number 10.
Kind of got intimidated by that block that time.
Short serve. Esco got a second chance. Cummings out of the back court. Hits that one wide. There's no touch. That's going to be a point for IPFW.
Todd Brooks into the Buckeye lineup, trying to change some momentum. Last year he set for this Buckeye team. He's going to come in and replace Voss as the setter.
We saw him set a little bit last weekend. He can do the job. There he throws one down, but a great play by Norman. Looning out of the back court. Tony Looning
starting to bring the crowd alive. Great dig by Norman Almodovar on that dump by...
Here we see it. Tony Looning out of the back court. Big block. Raul Papaleo and Loy Ball.
Crowd starting to get excited. They can sense that victory here. Just 2 points away.
David Freddy hits that one wide with no touch. That's going to set IPFW for game point. Game point, match point. Almodovar. That one served nicely in the corner.
Tough serve.
Set to John Cummings, who rolls that one into the net. IPFW wins. They win game 4, 15-5. They won the first 2 games by the scores of 15-11. 15-11. They lost the third game, 14-16, but they come back strong in game 4 and they win 15-5. Coach Ball's got to be happy with game 4. They came out and played like they should be playing.
That's right. They came out with some intensity and some purpose. Cut down on their mental errors. Played the way they're capable of playing, or close to how they're capable of playing.
They get a chance to show their stuff against USC. Here's
game point.
Todd Brooks. John Cummings just bloops one and you see the players jubilee. They get a chance. They're going to go up against the #1 team in the country, USC. The number 10 IPFW tomorrow night at 8 p.m. The first match will start at 6 o'clock. Will be the Ohio State Buckeyes against the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Ranked number 8 in the country, Penn State being a favorite in that match. We're seeing some strong teams here at Mastodon. 3 of the top 10 teams in the country.
That's right, some good volleyball. Should see some really excellent play tomorrow night. See the Volleyball take on #1 ranked USC. Lauren, what do you think they have to improve upon to be competitive with USC tomorrow night?
It's pretty obvious to me, Colin. They need to get some kind of consistency and intensity going. They lack the consistency of passing the ball, running their transition game, and they lack just the intensity to go out there and play some hard defense and putting the ball away. I don't believe their offense was as strong as they would have liked it. Then again, that's positive. They held strong when they had to and came around and won that match.
That's right. They played well that fourth game. But still, we saw in that first match, USC, their ball control is so superb. They're able to run their offense almost at will. They've got some big blockers up, so we've got to pass well so that we can let Loy have his options on the multiple offense, try to get one-on-one hitters against the blockers, and hope they can play well tomorrow night.
All right, a little recap of tonight's action. In the first match, we had USC defeating Penn State 3-0. In the second match, IPFW beats Ohio State 3-1. And let's take a look at that winning match point for IPFW. Okay, maybe we won't take a look right now. Colin and I will sit up here and chew the fat a little bit more and look down at, well, we had another nice crowd tonight, Colin. The support for the men's team at IPFW is fantastic.
I know the players really appreciate it. It helps get the adrenaline going. It's always nice to play in front of a big crowd. I know everyone here at the Mastodons appreciate all the support by the fans.
Here we see close-up shot. What do we have there? Volleyball, Guy Talk. Volleyball, the freshman sensation from IPFW, winning the hearts of the young girls in the crowd and the fans. Loy, not only a great player on the court, but a very nice person off the court. I had plenty of chances coaching him the past summer, excuse me, 2 summers ago, Junior Nationals in Toledo, Junior Olympics in Chicago. A great player to coach. He'll do anything for you.
I think he's got a great career ahead of him. He's just got to get a little more experience.
Here we see the scores of tonight's match. IPFW wins 15-11. 15-11. They lose game 3, 14-16. And they win game 4, 15-5. Colin and I have the pleasure of picking the Glenbrook Dodge Hyundai Player of the Game for IPFW. This game, it goes to Tony Looning, the senior co-captain from Belleville, Illinois, with a nice job.
Tony came out and really performed well, both offensively and defensively. He got a little change in his role tonight as he was asked to set in a couple rotations. So Tony deserves the accolades from what he received.
Okay, immediately following tonight's match, we're going to be joining Univision. For Colin Leiter, I'm Lauren Gebert. We thank you for joining us here at Channel 6.